Hey everybody, it's Ian from Ferrum. I have Harsh Khandelwal with me of Ureqa, the very first project that Ferrum is advising through Ferrum Advisory Services, a project I'm extremely excited about, in part because of Harsh himself. So I'm really pleased to introduce him, and we're ready to kick this thing off. So Harsh, can you just give us a little bit of background about yourself, your background in business, the things that I love about you. I want you to share with the world.
Yeah, sure. First, Ian, first of all, I got to thank you. I mean, it's a real honor, privilege to be the first guest on the Ferrum interview series. I have no doubts you can have some great folks on here in the years ahead. So again, thanks for that. So in terms, for me, my name is Harsh Khandelwal. I'm the CEO of Ureqa. In terms of educational background, I have an engineering degree from the University of Waterloo, an MBA from the Richard Ivey School of Business at the University of Western Ontario. To Canadian viewers, you might actually know those universities. Professionally, I started a software company straight out of my undergrad, and my co-founders and I, we sold it 2 years later to what was then the largest private manufacturer of aerospace parts in the US. Since then, it's been a really wild ride. My wife and I, we built a group of companies under the umbrella of the Kane Group. And we actually have a portfolio of real estate in Florida, southwestern Ontario. So we have offices in Tampa, Florida, Kitchener, Ontario. We have a construction company in Tampa. We have a software company in Kitchener. We have a capital arm called Kane Capital. We're deep value investors. We own equities around the world. We started a crypto portfolio, and we started buying private companies. In fact, recently, we closed on a 200,000 square foot warehouse in Ontario, and we bought the 3PL business that's being rebranded to Kane Logistics right now. And so for the past few years, I've been sort of managing the managers of this business, and I've been on the bench as an active CEO, and I've been itching to get back into the saddle, and nothing's really got me fired up until Ureqa.
Wow, I love it. What a background. I don't think you'll find a more credentialed CEO in this space to come out in the next many years. So extremely impressed. I think as people get to know Harsh more and more, they'll come to see, the amazing qualities that I've come to know.
Appreciate that, Ian. That's high praise coming from you. Thanks.
So let's dive right into Ureqa. Why'd you found it? What's the problems it's solving? Where are you at with traction? Give us the full rundown.
Okay, so why? Let's start with why, because that's really what got me here. And this is why. Think of any community, let's say the Ferrum community. There's lots of ways to divide us. And as a society, we have found, unfortunately, recently, more ways to divide us. You can divide us, you can say, you know what, there's different genders, ethnicity, skills, interests, careers. We can divide us in many ways. But there's one thing that binds us together as people, as global citizens of this world, and that's creative work. I mean, some of us like to read, some of us like to listen to music, others like to admire art. Whatever it is, creative work is humanity's soul. And unfortunately, creators have their work stolen every day. A recent study showed that 85% of all images on the internet were used without permission. We have to stop that. And that's what Ureqa is here to do. So Ureqa is a platform to protect, manage, and monetize creative work. And by doing that, we help protect creators' work, their rights, and their revenue. In terms of where we are, the idea, the genesis happened, I would say, early 2020. Q2 was largely about assembling the team that you can see in the white paper. I mean, it wasn't easy putting that team together, but fortunately we were able to. Development started in earnest in Q3, and we are planning to launch our closed beta at the end of this quarter. And actually we want to launch it or flick the switch on at the same time, on the same day we do the token generation event.
Fantastic. I think one key thing really to note about Ureqa is not just the amazing team you put together, but the fact that you're, almost there with the closed beta. And I know that having spoken with you for the past many months, some of you've been self-funding up until now, and so I applaud you on that. I think this is exactly the kind of project that we as Ferrum Advisory Services want to bring out to the community. I mean, it's just fantastic what you guys have done so far. Looking forward to what you are bringing out next. But I was hoping you could give an explanation to the question of how can someone who's not well versed in crypto benefit from your platform. I think we have a real need for projects that are bringing that sort of level of mass adoption. I'm just trying to understand, how is Ureqa solving that challenge of bringing in the non-crypto community into Ureqa?
Yeah, sure. So maybe I should take a step back and describe something called the Berne Convention. So that's an agreement between 197 countries, so pretty much the whole world. And there's two basic principles in there. The first is that we agree as a group of countries that copyright protection is given as soon as creative work is formed and fixed in some form, like an MP3 for your music, a Word doc for your written work, a JPEG for your image. You automatically get copyright protection as soon as you create it and fix it in some form. And as a group of countries, they also agree that if something is under copyright protection in one country, we will respect that in the other countries. So because of this, some countries like the UK, for example, actually has no copyright registration office. But other countries, for example, the US, they do. And you, Ian, can go to the US Copyright Office and say, you know what, this song is mine. It's a Miley Cyrus song, but this song is mine. And 3 months later, you'll get a piece of paper and an entry into their database that says, Ian says this is his. They clearly say they do not confirm ownership and they do not confirm that it was previously registered. The link is on our website. So it took 3 months to get that piece of paper that says, Ian says this song is his. So blockchain comes along. And several companies have come along, and including the World Intellectual Property Organization, they now have a system called whiteboard proof. And all these are what I would call blockchain 1.0 solutions. All they do is they say, okay, well, it takes 3 months to file in the US. We can actually stake a claim on the blockchain within minutes. And that's fine because it actually is a lot faster, but all it does, it says, Ian says this song is his. We view that as a necessary first step. And so we also do that. We can stake claims on Ethereum blockchain with our system, but later this year, we're going to support other claims. Bring your own claim, essentially. It's the minimum price of entry into this space. It's what we do after we stake a claim that makes us special. And what we do there is we're going to onboard. And first, how do we get there? Because the copyright registries aren't actually doing any validation. They just send it down to the courts to decide in matters over copyright dispute. And so we've worked with the top lawyers we could find who deal with this day in, day out, and asked them, what package of proof do you need when you go into these court matters? And so we've built processes, workflows for our MVP types, things like photographs, music, videos, digital art, websites, smart contracts. And some of the validation steps are common to all, and some are obviously unique. Fully trained group of validators who perform that work for Ureqa tokens. They're going to actually work as a team. There'll be a lead validator and supporting validators. They perform the validation steps, and then at the end, almost like block confirmations on a blockchain, they vote. And only once it passes the vote, that item is validated now. At the end of the validation process, we mint an NFT to represent that creative work. That NFT can then be used for interesting monetization opportunities. But we didn't stop there. We're actually also going to bring on, train and certify a group of protectors. Creators don't have time to protect themselves against infringement. So we're going to train these protectors. They're going to actually every item that's an NFT will be in our Ureqa premium protected collection. So for items in there, the protectors will go out, seek and find these infringing parties, report them, and the creators can send out demand letters to remedy the situation from our platform. They can have a link in there to pay whatever amount they see fit. And if that doesn't work, we'll have a graceful handoff to a legal team. So that's a pretty long-winded answer, and I didn't even get to what you asked. So the beauty of the solution we came up with is that we took this space, we realized we're harnessing the benefits of the blockchain. So we have the immutable timestamp for the claim, we have the NFT for the creative work. We engage the crypto community early. They're going to perform the validation, the protection, and will actually refer creative work for the closed beta. But we didn't alienate our no-coiner friends. Most creators don't know anything about crypto. And fortunately, on our platform, they can have an end-to-end experience strictly in fiat. You can use credit card payments all the way through. You can stake a claim, validate the work, and even monetize all with fiat, end-to-end. So we think it's a very elegant solution. In fact, we filed a patent that covers the validation and protection we do. And we think that unlike the blockchain 1.0 solutions, we're actually going to do it right.
I love that. I think it sounds really cutting edge. I love that you're combining the value of the crypto community with sort of this real world application that appeals to a wide ranging audience of people from all over the world, whether they know crypto or not. So it's really quite brilliant. You mentioned something that I think probably gets a lot of users excited. There's some buzzwords going around crypto right now, one of which is NFTs. So I was hoping you could touch on how NFTs are used in your system. How does it differ from maybe your traditional NFTs that you've seen around the space recently? And anything else you can share with us about NFTs within Ureqa?
First of all, the NFTs we mint will be ERC 721s on the Ethereum blockchain. Folks have asked already, can we validate our NFTs on the system because you generate an NFT? So I think I'll step back a bit and just say that a lot of people in this space think that NFTs actually get transferred from that platform to ours, and then it's only on ours. But what actually happens is a smart contract generates the NFT. And in that smart contract, there's a table that says, here's the unique identifier for the NFT, and here's the owner's address. And then there's some related info, like some metadata, like what's the image that represents this. So an NFT that conforms to these standards can actually, you can connect via MetaMask, and we would know all the NFTs that you control. We can pull the images just like OpenSea does and show it. And because you can control them, you can take certain actions on it. So as the owner of an existing NFT, sure, you can have it validated on our platform. Why would you want to do that? Because, I minted it on a platform and it tracks every step. But what if the source image or source file you used was used without permission? So we go a step back and actually validate that. So even if wherever you own the platform, you own the NFT doesn't allow connecting to our platform, you can upload the source file. And at the end of the validation process, where we confirm ownership and originality, you'll get a new NFT. Now, unlike other creative types where music, videos, literary works, for example, the NFT we create is the only NFT that represents that work, or could be.
Hey, folks, sorry about the technical difficulties. Have pretty poor internet where I am located currently, so sorry about that. But Harsh just described one way to utilize Ureqa with respect to NFT creators. My next question is, what is the process within the platform regarding NFTs for someone who uploads their own creative content? Isn't it the case that an NFT then gets minted, and then so what can you do with that? So that's my follow-up question.
Okay, Great. So at the end of the validation process, we mint an NFT for your creation. That NFT can represent your creative rights to the music you've uploaded, video, etc. With that NFT, you can do interesting monetization opportunities. You know, you can sell or transfer ownership. You've proven ownership and originality. You can sell downloads. One day we can do legally compliant securitized token offerings for all or part of it. That's just with the NFTs. Now, let's come back to something you asked earlier. What about people who don't know anything? What would they do with NFTs? Well, those folks don't even need to know that they own an NFT. They can also download a QR code that they can print in books, their website, and anyone who scans it goes to the Ureqa premium protected page for their work, where they can learn more about them, about the work, and things that they want to offer related to that work.
That's great. Again, I think you guys have found that sweet spot of appealing to the crypto community, but also not alienating sort of the wider world that may not yet be familiar with crypto. So that's great to hear. One thing I wanted to touch on as well, sort of pivoting to another topic, is the Ureqa token itself. So, you know, one thing that we always look at as Ferrum advisory services is, you know, what's the use case of the token within the platform, and how is this going to drive value to the token holders? So I was hoping you could touch on some of the utilities of the token. I know there's many, but maybe the few that come to mind, just for the benefit of our listeners now.
Right, sure. So that is actually a very important question, because I've noticed in this space, a lot of people trade tokens as a proxy for equity, which it isn't in almost every case. In fact, most white papers say that, and a lot of them should say that. So when we designed our tokens, we always want to, when we do that, we always want to make sure that there's a reason we would want to buy it ourselves. And so for the first, the non-fungible token, the ERC-721, I mean, clearly it's a utility token representing the creative work we talked about, use for monetization. Now let's talk about the fungible, the ERC-20 UREQA token. So a few things you can do with it. First, there's on-platform utility. So you can, if you have Ureqa tokens on the platform, you can get platform discounts. So you buy things cheaper than people would pay with fiat. You can do things like lock a certain amount of Ureqa and unlock a pro account for as long as you hold that balance. Pro accounts will be like $99 a year. You can farm useful NFTs. You can deposit and lock a certain amount of Ureqa for a certain period and unlock an NFT that not only looks great, but has utility. For example, it might give you 25% more Ureqa for every validation. We obviously, with Ferrum, of course, going to do some early incentives on staking rewards, but that wasn't enough. When that came to me, that wasn't enough. I mean, everyone also talks about governance, great, but it had to do more. So we came up with the idea of a community enrichment wallet. So at token generation, millions of tokens will be sent to a community enrichment wallet. The only way the tokens get out of there is by voting with Ureqa token holders, and that excludes team and advisors. We won't be participating in votes, but as long as it passes whatever is suggested, it passes our legal team, we'll put it to a vote. The community will decide. They might decide to, give certain validators who performed outstanding work a bonus. They might decide to reward top holders. They might decide to use some of the funds to acquire a technology that can help extend the system. It'll be up to the community. So we really thought hard about the utility, both of the non-fungible and fungible, and we think we're happy with where we landed.
I think it's fantastic. Anytime you can engage the community, whether small holders or large, you're really going to find yourself in a better position, because at the end of the day, the success of your project is going to rest largely on the sentiment in your community. So I'm all for innovative ideas like this. I can't wait to see that rolled out, and I'm looking forward to participating as maybe a voter myself. So bravo to that. I guess sort of on the lines of the token, this project, Ureqa, is very exclusive. It's nearly impossible to get an allocation into. It's a real private sale. Tell me a little bit about that. Why did you guys go in this such exclusive direction? It's a little bit unique, but I thought we could touch on it in this interview.
Yeah, sure. So that, Ian, that pains me. Um, one of the reasons I got into this space is because I firmly believe that just like the internet democratized information, blockchain is going to democratize value. What I mean by that is, before the internet, a kid in New York had access to library and books that contain information that a kid in a village in India could never access. The internet changed that. Anyone with an internet connection anywhere has access to the same information. Similarly, I think eventually the blockchain is going to do the same thing for value. So right now, only the wealthy and their friends can access things like IPO of Snowflake, for example. But down the road, maybe 5 years, I'm not sure when, but down the road, everything that can be tokenized will be tokenized. You could be in a developing nation with an internet connection and buy a fraction of a square foot of a building in New York. Or you could participate in private sales of opportunities like Ureqa. Unfortunately, well, fortunately we're early, and that's why we're all excited to be here, but unfortunately we're early. And the SEC and OSC and regulatory bodies want to keep us safe, and we get that. They don't want people taking an irresponsible amount of money, like maybe putting a second mortgage on a home to put into an opportunity like Ureqa or other great opportunity in crypto. And so we get that they want to keep the community safe. At the same time, they want to bring good apples and good actors and people with business experience like us into this space. So we're in this kind of odd phase right now. But this idea was too good and could do too much good for this world not to come out now. And unfortunately, with the ambiguity of the laws, our legal team has decided that we're going to have to go as conservative as possible. And we do have pre-sale tokens, but they'll only be for people who can comply with the local regulations where in the jurisdiction in which they're resident. And I wish that weren't the case, but we're early in this space.
Well, I think it's perfectly reasonable, and I think you'll see other projects of Ureqa's caliber, serious teams, guys with success in business, going in more of a compliant direction. So I fully understand it. It's ultimately Ureqa's not gonna be for everyone, but that's okay, right? That's fine. There's other opportunities out there, but I'm glad you touched on that for our viewers. One question that had come up from the Ferrum community. We actually ask people in advance of these interviews to source, to provide some questions. Something that I'd seen pop up a lot in the Ureqa chat is this question around celebrities. Ureqa is a platform that could very well lend itself to celebrity musicians, celebrity artists. So tell us a little bit about your plans with celebrities. How's that fit into Ureqa? Any names you can drop now? That'd be awesome. People are really excited to hear about that.
All right, you're not gonna like the news on this one, Ian. So,
oh, no.
Celebrities. I mean, clearly, if anyone looks at the team, for example, Tom Hunter, he was voted top lawyer in Canada. He works for the third largest law firm in Canada. He clearly has recognizable names that he's worked with. He clearly has clients who work with recognizable names. So we, as a team, have access to names that everyone will know. However, we've built successful businesses in the past, and we know that you have to walk before you run. So everyone likes this rocket analogy in this space. You got to fire up the engines progressively. So we started with the idea, we built the team, started the tech, starting some promotions. We're on here. We're going to do the token generation closed beta. Now, the closed beta is going to have some recognizable names in the crypto space, some smaller names outside of crypto. We're going to do the closed beta for 3 months. We're going to get feedback. We're going to implement the feedback. We're going to make it better. We're going to do a public MVP at the end of Q2. And then we're going to bring on bigger names outside of of crypto and even within crypto. We're going to get globally recognized names. We're going to get small companies. We're going to get larger companies. Then we're going to onboard a country as a national registry that uses Ureqa. And that's the stepwise methodical approach we're going to use to building this company. Sure, I've seen projects launch a name around token generation, goes crazy, and then crickets. And we've worked too hard outside of crypto to build a reputation to blow it all on a pump. And we're not geared that way. And we want to be upfront and transparent to the community. We do have access to them. We won't be bringing them on until the time's right on the platform. We have one shot to do it right. We want to do it right.
Well, I really respect that approach, and I think it shows that you guys have prior success in the world of startups, because that's exactly what you should be doing. You should be launching a beta, getting that user feedback, perfecting it, and then going out to a wider audience. That's how you win the long game, folks. And that's what Ureqa is, if anything. This is a serious project with a very bright and long future. So I commend you for taking those baby steps, even though I'm sure it's going to be a little frustrating for the folks that want Moon now. But don't worry,
right?
Better to walk before you run. So great work there. So we're about to wrap it up, but one thing that we like to do at Ferrum, the Ferrum interview series, is try to tease out some exclusive info, some first look kind of thing from the founders and other people we have on. So Harsh, if there's anything you can share with folks here first that no one else knows, doesn't have to be something under NDA, don't worry. That would be awesome. So if you have anything, please don't hold back.
Well, Ian, I wouldn't do this for anyone, but for you and Ferrum, let's see. How can I do this without stealing CMO's thunder? All right. One of the things I did before I came into crypto or formally announced my entry into crypto is I wrote a LinkedIn article called A Value Investor's Journey into Crypto. And in there, I talked about you, Ian, and how important you were in our journey to get here. I'm basically getting a mini MBA in crypto from you. It's great. But what I didn't mention is there's actually another founder of a crypto project. In fact, it's a DeFi project, a very large DeFi project. There's about $500 million of total value locked on it. Coinbase likes them. And this founder, what he did when I told him the idea, he loved it. He's all over the NFT thing. And he opened our eyes to something that we didn't think of before. He said, corporations are registered entities that can own things like white papers and websites and smart contracts. How does a DAO own it? And as he's preparing to hand his project over to the DAO, he's saying, we should commit our creative assets, our website, white paper, smart contracts to the closed beta, so we can have them minted as NFTs, so we can do a graceful handoff to the DAO. And so that's something that'll actually be announced fairly soon. This whole concept of a pretty high-profile DeFi project pledging assets for the closed beta. That's one thing, and one isn't enough for you, Ian. So I'll give you one more.
That was a big one, though. That was a really big one, and I think a lot of projects, influencers, other key opinion leaders in the space are going to be pledging assets to Ureqa, and I think we're going to see a snowball effect at some point. It's going to be really exciting. So I'm
actually frankly amazed. We just came out of stealth, and we're actually getting a lot of pledged assets. It's great. It's been great. So the other thing I could share, Ian, is we're actually going to launch a line of limited edition NFTs. So it's going to be called the Ureqa Genesis Collection, and there's going to be 3 lines. 100 each, 100 for the first 100 creators in the closed beta, first 100 validators, and VIPs. Now, creators and validators are self-explanatory. The VIPs will be handed out at our team's discretion. So people in our community who are good ambassadors for Ureqa, maybe they referred creative work to the closed beta, maybe they did some promotions for us. maybe they're very active in Telegram chat. But each of those lines, they'll look spectacular, but they'll also have utility. Everything we do has got to have utility. And that's as much as I can share here, but we will announce the utility for those 3 lines as well. February is gonna, we've been in stealth for too long. February is gonna be different. I mean, people always, some people say, no one cares about people with real world experience in crypto. Crypto is a different ball game. Well, to those people, I mean, clearly, we won't let short-term thinking derail us from our long-term plans. But we do appreciate the need to continue to engage the crypto community. And we're the first guests on Ferrum interview series. Surely we have other tricks up our sleeve. We have 330 people in our Telegram channel today. What's today? The 4th of February. Let's see, by token generation event, end of March, let's see what we're at. You could either, come on board early or wait.
I love it. I love it. You heard it here first, folks. 2 huge events coming up, NFTs, special NFTs for early participants. I love that. And a major partner pledging their assets to Ureqa. I think there's going to be many more projects coming on board to validate their intellectual property on your platform. So this is the start of something really big, people. I'm thrilled to have brought it out to the world in our Ferrum community. Really is some of the first, but this will not be the last time we have Harsh on. I want to thank you for your time. Where can people find you and Ureqa on social media? Like, where can they follow up with you guys?
Yeah, so I mean, Telegram, we're at Ureqa, Twitter at Ureqa_Inc. I'm at Ureqa_CEO. I think I have 4 followers right now. I just set up my account like 2 days ago. But hopefully that'll change. And Ian, I can't end by saying that, Ferrum's a great friend of Ureqa's. We look forward to coming back on here. And if there's any way Ureqa now or in the future can help Ferrum, we'd gladly do it. You guys have been great to us. Thanks.
Our pleasure. And yeah, this will be not the last time people hear about Ferrum and Ureqa together. So looking forward to seeing where things go, Harsh. Great work so far. And we'll speak to you soon.
Sounds good. Take care, Ian.
Bye.